Hi guys, it's Kelly from Cards by Christine here with you on a Thursday night. Oh my goodness, I see my downward camera's frozen. So I'm going to get us live and then I'm going to figure that one out. Chris is away at a retreat, which is great and exciting. But we're not supposed to have technology issues while she's gone. What the heck? All right, let's see here. So anyways, oh, we're still frozen. Okay, let's see here. We are live, so that is great. All right, so I'm going to dilly-dally while we wait for people to join us live, but also while I figure out what is going on with this guy. So bear with me. Oh, hello, Kathy, Flane, Susan, Cindy, Patsy, Wendy. Oh my goodness, so happy everyone is here already. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate the hoorah. Okay, so let's see here if this is gonna do it. No. Oh, maybe we got it. Okay. Hello. I am so glad everyone is here with me tonight. We've got Paper Pumpkin tonight. We are doing the May Paper Pumpkin. So typically we would have done this like last week, but Chris is gone on a Stampin' Retreat, so we're excited for her to be able to partake in that. Tyler is with her. I just talked to her about an hour ago. They were on a hike. I think he referred to it as more than a hike, so it must have been a pretty good hike. And so glad that she's getting a little R&R, and I am here with you tonight to do Paper Pumpkin, so that you've got some live entertainment for your Thursday night. I am fighting off a head cold, so I hope my voice doesn't annoy you too much. It's annoying me. Let's see here. It's Thursday, and I've been sick since Monday, so I'm well over this. Hello, everybody. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Pat. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. So June 2nd, we have made it to summer, or pretty close to summer. It depends if you consider the end of the school year summer or let's see here, summer solstice. That's what I was looking for, which usually is like June 22nd or something as the actual start of summer. But today was my son's last day of school, so I have a 4-year-old. He was in a 3K program at our local church. So I went to church with him today for his last day of school. It was great. Afterwards, when we were at home, talking about his last day of school and all that good stuff, it was kind of out of the blue. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for sharing, Doris. Hello, Andrea and Doris. I didn't say hi. He kind of leaned over to me and said, thank you so much for coming, and gave me a kiss. Oh my gosh, I was like, it just melted my heart. Oh man, I can't believe he's gone through a year of school. So much growth and maturity. Well, I mean, he's only 4, but growth and learning has happened over the last year. I'm so proud of him. I cannot believe how fast it went. It's just been crazy. I'm only watching tonight. My Paper Pumpkin is still not here. Oh my goodness. I get 2. Wow, Felane, that's crazy. So yeah, it's definitely been a while. So yours is probably like lost in transit. That's so sad. Who is going to be Paper Pumpkining along with us tonight? We've got roll call. So, excuse my Mountain Dew. We had Taco Bell for supper tonight. We've got Lynn Beasley, Amy Ponce, Laura Wood, Mo Stites, Dawn Reeder, Carolyn Ketchmark, Tracy Seller, Tracy Gruby, Carolyn Ketchmark again, Mary Scott, Tom Bertram, my cousin and Chris's brother, Shirley Malarkey, Sharon Rutch, Terry Lacree, Lori Kaiser, Jolene Schrei, Brenda Cardwig, Patricia Gerlach, Patricia Williger, Marge Haas, and Tammy Krupp. She got the last 2 kits. Chris does not have any extras. They have all sold out already. So if you love what you're seeing tonight, unfortunately, we can't help you out. Sometimes there are refill kits or extra kits that become available in the Stampin' Up! Store. So if you really love it, you can always reach out and see if Chris has any ties to any of them or can direct you to the store if they're available. But at this time, there are none available to purchase through her. They grow up so fast. Just turned 7. Oh my goodness. Isn't it fun to see how much they learn and develop during the year? It is crazy. It is crazy. That's just all I can say. My son is incredibly shy, and he's also, I'd call him maybe sensory sensitive. I don't know that he's on the spectrum per se, but he's definitely sensory sensitive. So, like today in church, the choir music and the, clapping was too loud for him, and that really gets him all shy. So, but he still has grown and developed so much. It's been great. So I think I'm going to hop in. Hi, Lisa. Oh my goodness. Hello from Door County. So if you guys have noticed, I pre-recorded a bunch of the Technique Thursdays. I actually haven't been in the Hive in a while. I've been missing it. This is the creative outlet I am needing. Sorry, Lisa. Door County. I'm circling back to it. I have been incredibly busy and just really bogged down and I really need a getaway. I had a getaway. I need some me time. Maybe that's what I was thinking. A couple weeks ago, I had a children's museum conference in St. Louis. I work for a children's museum. Love my job. It's so incredibly amazing. And I went to a conference in St. Louis, and it was great. But then followed that up with a longtime family friend that passed away from Door County. Love going to Door County so incredibly much. But that was not necessarily the reason I wanted to go. And we were trying to get there. We go every year to visit her. We go several times a year. And we were planning on going to visit her. So missed that opportunity. However, I will tell you, she was 97 years old. Just a fantastically incredible human being. Very close to my family. And just, man, such a good soul. So, literally came back from St. Louis and went to Door County for that funeral. And then we actually had a wedding right before I left for St. Louis. And then the weekend after, I can't even remember what we had going on, but I had something big going on that weekend. Actually, 2 big things going on that weekend. One of them was my niece's birthday party in Bay Beach, and I don't know, something the day before that. And then it's been day after day after day after day. So long story short, I have been feeling stretched incredibly thin and really looking forward to this opportunity to craft along with you tonight. So if you've bared with me through that entire story, we're about ready to dive right in. Okay, so let's flip her on down. Flane, I don't want to say glad to hear that. Obviously, never want any child to go through anything extra. But, sensory sensitivity is pretty real. And I feel like to some degree I might be, or maybe was more when I was younger, sensory sensitive as well, because I a lot of the things that bothered Zach bothered me as well. And I think it just was something that wasn't quite as talked about when I was younger. So it'll be interesting to see, you know, if he grows out of it or what things we may do to help him along. And hi, Gwen, and thanks, Rebecca. It just, you know, I've said to several people who knew of Virginia and her place in my heart, it feels sad to be sad, or it feels wrong to be sad, because she was 97 and lived a great life and a long life. It's just, you know, it's sad that I'll never see her again, but that is life. So, all right, so let's dive into some happier things and fun, creative things. We've got a special box this month. This month's kit is all about the in colors. So you see Tahitian Tide is on the box, and that's the color of this. That is the color of the tissue paper as well. Then we've got an advertisement for next month. You've got until the 10th of the month to sign up for it. Pick of the crop. There are a bunch of peaks out already. Well, I shouldn't say already. You only have a couple more days to subscribe. I think one of the stamps is a strawberry, just to kind of point that out. And then ready for the colorful year ahead with some advertisement for the In Color products. So love the new In Colors as well. So I'm excited to play with them tonight. Hi, Elaine. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you're excited about this kit. I am. I think it's going to be a really fun one. So, just look at how vibrant this Tahitian Tide is. So pretty. Okay, fold that back up, put it back in the box, and let's break this thing open. Okay, so we've got a lot of cards to make tonight. 2 each of 5 different designs. Hello, Sandy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Okay, so the add-on for June. You know, I don't know. So what Felena is talking about is the June kit. I don't think it shows on the advertisement. No. The June kit comes with a burlappy type bag. Very cool. I will ask Chris to follow up with you on that, because I don't know the answer to that, but she will, and she can absolutely help you out with that. Just gonna make a note of that because I want to follow through. Okay, so here are the fun things that we've got in store. So 2 each of 5 different designs, obviously 1 for each of the In Colors. Okay, so here's what we're gonna make. Love the gold accent that carries through the entire set of cards. So cool. We've got some embellishments, dimensionals, tear and tape. Very cool. We've got the envelopes. You guys, if you follow along with me, you know I love to deconstruct these envelopes and make beautiful things out of them. I'm not doing it this time. That's typically what I do for my alternative, but I'm not doing that this time. But look it, we've got that beautiful pattern that follows all the way through the inside, and it's like an ombre watercolor effect. So definitely encourage you to tear apart these envelopes and utilize them for your card making purposes. Oh, there's some pieces tucked in there. So I'm going to set those aside. Most of the card bases this time are blank white. So I think they have these very intentionally packed, but I'm just going to kind of sort my things out differently. Okay, so here. Okay, so then 2 of the card bases have gold foil already on them, and the rest of them are just white. Mary, it seems like, not always, but it seems like most of the times my alternatives are based on deconstructing the envelopes and making cards out of them. I'm a very frugal person. Chris is too. I see my lighting is really bad, so let me fix that while we're at it. Chris is too. So get a lot of bang for your buck when you can make twice as many cards because you're using the envelopes. So that is why I do that. But oftentimes they make such beautiful envelopes that I just can't bear to see them end up in the trash, because literally almost everybody throws away envelopes. Some people keep them, but most people just throw them away. So that is my little spiel about envelopes. Oh, and I need to switch. Okay, so I've got all of my pieces now, and I'm going to start figuring out what we're doing here. As always, again, if you follow along, I usually use my own block and my own stamp pad. I forgot to grab them, so I'm going to do that right now. The first time you subscribe to Paper Pumpkin, you will get a Stampin' Up! Block. It is, or I should say it's a Paper Pumpkin block. It's a little different. It doesn't have the rounded edges. It works perfectly fine, but the rounded edges are a little more comfortable, so that's why I bring in my own Stampin' Up! Block. Every month you get a colored Stampin' Spot. This month is basic gray. Works perfectly fine, but again, I always bring in my own stamp pad because it's larger. It's a foam pad, which I like working with more. But if you don't have these supplies, you still can be absolutely successful in making these cards. I love the Paper Pumpkin kits. There's so many great elements, die cuts, embellishments that always come in your kits. So you really always get everything you need. And you can absolutely add to it, make changes to it, make them your own. Every month, if you are new to us, every month when I do Paper Pumpkin, I give you alternative ideas to make with your Paper Pumpkin kit. Sometimes the cards don't hit your fancy, but you know what? All of the materials still have the potential to make really beautiful cards, even if you don't necessarily love the cards straight from the kit. Hello, Myrtle. You actually have a substitute teacher tonight. My name is Kelly. I'm actually Chris's cousin, and you may recognize me from Technique Thursday. So glad you could join us tonight. All right, so one tip I always like to share: when Paper Pumpkin sends you stuff, sometimes you get multiple sheets, especially like that happy. Punching them out is not hard, but it's not the easiest. So if you layer the sheets together, you can punch multiples out at the same time. Saves you just a little bit of time, and I'm actually going to do them all right now so that I can consider it done. Hi, Deb. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so just about done punching out here. No ribbon this time. We've got embellishments, adhesives, and stamps. So let's see what we got going on here. Okay, so looks like we're starting with the red card. You can do anything. Oh, I didn't show you the stamps yet. So we've got happy as an outlined word. We have you as a scripty word. And then we have just for, you make me, can do anything, to celebrate your day, to have you in my life, and then a couple little splatters. So those are the stamps. Oh, I can see if I can pull together a card using an envelope, or I might head out to Chris's surplus and show some of the ones I've done in past paper pumpkins. We'll see how much time we have. I think these cards are going to come together really quickly. So I will absolutely show off what I'm talking about when we are done. So we are going to do one each of the 5 different colors. This gold card says you, and then we are going to take the red piece, which I shouldn't call red. It's Sweet Sorbet. Beautiful color. I am blown away with all of the in colors. They're all really great. I got distracted. I was going to stamp first. Silly. Okay, so it says you. And then the options for the stamp would either be, well, it says you can do anything, or if you wanted the word above, you can say just for you. But obviously it will do you can do anything here. Hi, Sherry. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, you can do anything. I love that. Okay, so we'll get our stamp on our block. We'll open up our stamp pad. Okay, and then we want one of the short banners here. So we're gonna punch that one out. And then if you're doing all of the cards, I suggest doing all of the stamping at once. It just preserves some time and effort. So that's what I'm going to do if we don't mind. I'm going to go ahead and do all the stamping right now. I'm not, however, going to stamp. You know what? I am going to stamp the multiples because then it's just going to be easier for Chris, or sometimes my mom puts these together for her. Because then we don't need to finagle that. So one thing I do suggest when you do paper pumpkin or literally any project, when you're done with a stamp, make sure to put it away right away. I have, too many times lost a stamp because it got stuck to the bottom of something that I didn't know it was stuck to. You make me happy. And the other thing that I suggest is as soon as you're done with your stamp pad, to go ahead and close it. Because again, you speak from a first person experience. So many times I ruin a project because I have a stamp pad open on my workstation and I drop my card in it, or run my ribbon through it. Just so many things can happen at the expense of an open stamp pad. Another reason why I want to just get the stamping out of the way right away. Okay. So now we're using 2 of the circles. It says just for you. Oh, thank you so much, Sandy. I appreciate you jumping in and answering that question for me. Okay, just for you. Okay. I am using a foam, like a piercing mat. These are photopolymer stamps, so you're gonna get the best impression if you use a mat beneath your stamping surface. So if you're wondering what that is what that is. Okay, one more. It looks like the Best Wishes, which is our Starry Sky colored card. Does not have stamping, at least not on the outside. You could put whatever sentiment you want on the inside, but nothing on the outside. So then, happy to have you in my life is our last one, and then we're done stamping for tonight. Well, until we get to the alternative card, I should say. Hello, Brenda. How are you? Okay, so this is going to be the hardest one. Well, not necessarily hard, but this stamp needs to be centered on this really long banner, which I can already tell. Sorry if you can see my hair. Didn't have an opportunity to shower this morning, so. Oh, kind of dry shampoo it was. I could not get my son going this morning. He was eating his pancakes and he really wanted to watch his train show. I'm like, we gotta get going. You can't be late on your last day of school. So awesome. To point out, I'm stamping them on this master sheet. It's a little easier than having these really thin banners and trying to maneuver them. So I'm stamping them and then punching them out. Should make it a little easier. Also, they gave you like double of what you need, which is awesome because then either you can either make a mistake and not be left with nothing to fix it, or have extras for other cards. So love that. I'm just going to move some stuff out of the way because your work surface is never large enough. No matter how much room you have, it's never large enough. Okay, so back to business. You can do anything. So stamping is done. Then I'm gonna show you on here. We're gonna take this red piece, flip it over, and then it shows you where to put the adhesive. So we're going to put 2 strips of tear and tape down the side, and then also some dimensionals on the back of the little banner with the sentiment. Now, I will say this. I, again, have my own supplies, and I love utilizing liquid glue. So I'm going to use liquid glue instead of the tear and tape. However, again, if you're a new stamper or don't have the supplies or don't want to use your own supplies, you definitely can use the tear and tape that they supply you. Okay, so we're gonna hover this over where it needs to go. Another thing that I love about liquid glue is, like, I didn't get this exactly where I needed it to be, so I have a little bit of an opportunity to wiggle it. I forgot to put some on that little piece. To wiggle it around to get it exactly where it needs to go. So that is another reason why I love to use liquid glue. Good evening, or it sounds like Xana, good morning to you. Thanks for bearing with me through the wee hours of the morning. Okay, so gonna use your pick tool, grab a couple dimensionals, and then peel the back off. Okay. Then we're gonna put this down here. You can do anything. Okay, so I'm a little sad here because I'm covering up all of that gold, but you know what? Just gonna do it. That's where they tell you to put it. However, know that you can put it anywhere that you want to. And then, okay, so it calls for you to use the dots that come with it, and it has you use the green and 2 of the blues. I'm gonna go run and grab my own because I want them to be red. Sometimes I struggle with some OCD, so just a second. So again, absolutely can use what came in the kit, but because I'm in the hive and I have access to everything I could ever want and need, I know that Chris has the in-color thingy-maboobers. What are these called? Embellishments. So sorry, you're dealing with my foggy brain because, like I said, I've been sick for not quite a week, so I'm just like tip-top shape over here. So I ran and got the, let's see here. So they show you where they should go, and they only show you where 2 of them are. And obviously you can put them wherever you want, but I'm really inspired by the cards as they make them. Oh, here's the second one. Okay. So I like when they tell me where something goes, because then I feel confident about putting it there. I struggle with random. Random is hard for me. So, like I said, I really appreciate when they tell you where to put the dimensionals. And you know what? Another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my friend Stella. So I should have thought of this sooner. And maybe now I'll remember to do Stella on all the rest of the cards as we're designing them. But let's go ahead here and I'm going to Stella the edges just to give it a little more pop. So, because there's 5 cards this time, normally I feel like we do 3 designs, sometimes 4. 4 is a stretch even though sometimes. So I think because there's more card designs, because we're going to do one of every color of the end colors, makes sense. The cards are a little more simple. No ribbon this time. Usually we get ribbon. So I'm just going to kind of pepper in a couple additional details along the way. Then, oh, and I forgot to burnish it beforehand. You guys, I am like struggle bussing over here. Hi, Kathy Jackson. Thank you for tuning in. Okay, so now we got that. We're going to open it up and put a card on the inside. So this little thing is a gift card holder, and there's one for everyone. So there's a, you can make all of your cards into gift cards, which I thought was super cool. So go ahead and burnish it with your bone folder. Thanks, Patsy. Yeah, I just, you know, I think since COVID, the summer cold has become more prevalent. I don't know. Maybe I'm just dreaming. But I don't remember really getting sick this late in the year before. And it just sucks because the weather's finally nice. I want to hang out outside and do fun stuff. And I just, like, Monday, of course, a holiday, I had no energy and I slept most of the day. Well, I wish I would have slept. I tried, but obviously with the kiddos and just life, did my best to relax, but wasn't totally successful. Let's see here. So here we go. We have one card done already. Here's your cover. You can do anything. Okay, so let's put that off to the side and we'll move on to the next one. Yay! Next we have the Tahitian Tide one. I don't know, I think that's my favorite of the new in colors. How about you? Do you all have feelings about what your favorite color is? We've got Sweet Sorbet, Parakeet Party's the greenish color. Sweet Sorbet is the one we just did. Tahitian Tide is this light blue color that we are about to do. Then we have, oh man, it's been a while. Let's see here. Starry Sky is the darkest blue, and Orchid Oasis. Starry Sky is your favorite. I love the Starry Sky too. Of course, I love all of the blues, but I think the light blue is my favorite. Okay, so then we are going to You Make Me Happy. So we punched out the happy. Hi, Randy. Thank you for joining. Ooh, yes. They all look really great together, too. You make a good point, Zaina. Ooh, yes. Those are beautiful colors together. So, you know, I think I was saying to Chris, sometimes it takes a while for things to grow on me. Exactly, Cindy. I love all the in colors. And it didn't take any like growing on me this time around. Sometimes it takes a little bit for a color or a set to grow on me, and I loved them from the start. So we're gonna go ahead and put some dimensionals all over this guy. Hi, Ethel. Thank you so much for joining. We have one card done, and we're just about to start on the second one. I should say we are started on the second one. But no fear. You haven't missed a thing. Okay, you missed a little thing, but we're not much. All right, then you're going to bring in your glue scissors and cut one of those dimensionals in half. And then the most fun of the whole shebang is peeling off all these silly dimensional backs. I need to get myself a take your pick tool. So handy. Why work harder? They're only like 10 bucks. I don't know why I haven't ever done it. Maybe that's my next purchase. Who knows? I think I said that a month ago too, though. All right, there we go. All right, and again, the suggestion is to put tear and tape on the back of this banner. Okay, I agree, Xana. The in colors have been fabulous recently, and I am so sad to see a couple of the colors go. I really liked Cinnamon Cider, Misty Moonlight. Oh, that was one of my favorites. And there was another light, let's see, a really light blue. I can't remember what it was called, from a couple of years ago that I was so sad to see retire. Who knows, maybe when Stampin' Up! Does a color refresh, they might bring some of them back. You never know. Evening Evergreen. Okay, that one's still active, but it's an in color, so I'm going to be sad when that one goes. All right, so I'm just going to put a little bit of Stella about halfway up the back there. And then You Make Me Happy. Let's see here. You Make Me is over here. I wasn't done with my dimensionals. Oops. Oh, Lordsy. Oh, Blueberry Bushel. Okay, so I don't necessarily remember Pineapple Punch, but I remember Blueberry Bushel, and that color was gorgeous. Okay, You Make Me Happy. Okay, and then again, suggestion here for placement of embellishments. I love this suggestion, but I'm going to go ahead and grab Chris's Tahitian Tide and just keep it monochromatic. Okay, so the one up here, I'm going to do the darkest shade, and then down here, I'm going to put the light ones. Sorry if that is throwing anyone off. I don't know, I like it better. So I'm being selfish. Okay, then of course, these all have the pockets on the inside, so it's not showing that step because there's not enough space, but let's not forget to burnish the card holder and put it on the inside. Okay. Great time of year for all of these gift card holders. Father's Day and graduation parties, wedding season. So great time to have all these money cards around. or gift cards around. I should have just taken Stella all the way up the top. I'm not going to do it now because I'd have to kind of go around these things, but Stella, let's see here, can we show her off? There we go. Stella really makes a difference on the cards. Okay, now we are on to the Orchid Oasis. Oh, man. And this card, in my opinion, or I should say this color, in my opinion, doesn't look... It doesn't not look like that color. It just looks a little off to me. Maybe it is. That's the one... I don't dislike it, but that is the one that I think I like the least. So, that's my little ditty. Just for you. Then we've got this. We're going to, again, go ahead. And my interpretation is going to be to use the liquid glue here. All right. Just going to glue this mat down. And then dimensionals behind this guy. Okay, take the backs off. Man, this one's the easiest. All right, and then Stella, I'm gonna go up in the white. Okay. Yep, I agree, Fellaine. Misty, Moonlight, and Cinnamon Cider. And then I'm going to add Evening Evergreen to that when that one retires, because that one is such a great color. Of course, I'm getting streakiness with the Stella. Stella can be a little... So, need a new Stella here. Ooh. Stella can be a little finicky sometimes, so bear with me. And that'll dry, which will make a difference too. Not finicky, but she's running out, so she's crying to me a little bit. So that will dry. Oh no! Oh no! Ha! Okay, so I was like, what is going on? My card is so uneven. Well, look it. There is a front and there is a kind of like die cut edge here. So if you have this kit and you are kidding along with me, make note of that so you don't make the same mistake I just made. This is for the Starry Sky card. I'll do that right for the next one. There's kind of no salvaging this one now. For that reason, I'm not going to put the gift card holder on the inside because I've already not made this a super usable card. So sorry about that. But there, lesson learned. Okay. We are going to put embellishments on it though, because at least the front of the card looks good. Whoopsies. Okay. We're all entitled to make mistakes, right? All right, then we'll put the lightest color down here. And here is our little bit of a wonky card. So, 3 embellishments. I like how they've got the gold here. It kind of looks like, exactly, I think that is what I'm going to do. Cut the front panel off and glue it to just a basic white. I will absolutely do that. So, that card was fun. Sorry about that. Okay, so now I will bring in the other one that has that funky cut along the bottom. Oh, man. That was funny. No clue that that was part of it. Okay, then we're going to bring in this piece that also has that matching cut to it. And we're going to, without a mistake, change of plans. I love that. Okay, so the suggestion is to bring in tear and tape on the back. We're just gonna, makes you human. Oh, exactly. For the love of alive, right? Just can never know what's coming. Okay, so we've got our Starry Sky. Love the gold on there. We've got Best Wishes. This is, hi Julie, thank you so much for joining. This is another super simple card. We are going to put some dimensionals on the back here. It's a simple card, but it still looks very elegant with the gold and, oops, I took a few too many layers here. And the die cut elements, and then the special curve, or the special cut along the bottom gives it some more fascinating details too, and funny story for us to all laugh about. Okay, now we get to peel all those dimensional backs. Alrighty, so then we're gonna put that over here with our strategically placed paint splatters. Okay, put that there-ish. Then I'm going to grab these. We'll put a big one up top. And then, oh, big and small up top. And then a big one. Oops. I lost the adhesive on that one. That happens every once in a while. Let's see if we can get that to stick back down. Oops. Okay, I can't get that one to pick up the adhesive. All right, so there's another one. Best Wishes. Then let's go ahead and add our card holder on the inside. Okay. Now with this one, just want to be certain that you're not putting it too far down, that you can see it out of the bottom of that silly cut edge. That is my new best friend. But really that's only the bottom 1/4 inch. So there we be, Best Wishes. Very cool, love that. And last but certainly not least, we have the Parakeet Party, which is on a normal white. No special cut here. We've got Happy to Have You in My Life. And we've got all these beautiful die cuts. So, 2 of them do not have gold foil on them. Those are on the edge here. Your favorite color. All right. See, I'm not going to disagree because I do like all of them. But green is my least favorite color just as a whole. However, this bright green... And here I am talking about how much I love Evening Evergreen. So maybe just normal green is not my favorite, but like that dark green of Evening Evergreen, I love how it's like such a like classy color, and it's a neutral but a non-traditional neutral. And like this bright green, I really love that too. So I don't know. Maybe I just can't decide. Okay, so here are the pieces we punched out, and I'm going to lay them out in the order in which they suggest you put them, just so I put them in the right order. And then the fun of this is going to be to try to center them. So, yikes. Here we go. It looks like maybe about 1/2 inch in from the edge. And what I'm going to do is work from the outsides in. Hi, Angela. Thank you so much for joining. Now, wow, running out of glue too. Okay, and then these actually don't have gold on them because they are behind most of the text, so it would get lost anyways. So when I do strip cards, okay, good suggestion, Mom. So Mom is watching, my boys and me. Her suggestion was to start in the center and work out, and actually I did just the opposite, but both would work the same to work on centering. So by working outside in, I'm kind of centering as I go, whereas if you start here, then you're basing it off of there to kind of figure out where that goes. But I'm just kind of taking the amount of space and splitting the difference. But either way, we got it. Okay, and then Happy is going to get glued down. And then To Have You in My Life is going to be with dimensionals. Okay, so Happy is gonna go about here-ish. And then let's go ahead and punch out the banner. And that's gonna go with dimensionals. Okay, so 1. They show 3, but because of how long this is, I'm gonna do probably 5. And typically there's no shortage of adhesives and supplies that they send with you, so you don't need to worry about running out. All right, and then they have this covering up just the bottom of the Happy. So you can see it kind of looks like it's sitting on it. And then, last but certainly not least, so you can see how it's not perfectly centered. Oh, yikes. You do your best, right? This card is all about being not quite centered. Okay, and then we'll take the light ones down here. Okay, we did it. So here's, oh, I knew I was gonna do that. I forgot to put the card holder on the inside. Okay. I thought about that. To put a embellishment on the end, I might actually circle back and do that. Okay, so let's put that in there. Alrighty, so there we have it. Just gonna put a couple more embellishments here. Really deck it out. Yeah, so my Stella pen is a little bit, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Fellaine. My Stella pen is being a little temperamental, so I don't want to ruin anymore, so I kind of phased her out. I'll show you what I mean by that. So the first one looks good. So here we have our sweet sorbet. Then we have our Tahitian Tide. Love that. Our Orchid Opulence. And that's where she started kind of gleeking out on me. So I gave up on her. Then we've got our Starry Sky and our Parakeet Party. So here are our paper pumpkin cards for the night. And I have a great alternative in mind for you, inspired by a fellow stamper. I was going to look up her name because I forgot it. I think it was Rachel Tessman. Yep, Rachel Tessman. So let me clean up my spot while you're looking at these beautiful cards. And then we will get to making. I've got quite a mess going on. And I haven't forgotten, I did forget who requested it. I haven't forgotten about the potential to make a card out of the envelope. So we'll see how much time we've got if we can pull that off. I'm thinking we can. Okay, so let's see here. Gotta get all of the pieces together. And then the rest of them I'm gonna put away. And I'll put this away. Sorry guys. Just gotta clean up a little bit so that we can move on to the next phase of our making. Okay. Getting to the bottom of the pile. Gotta throw away all the little dimensional backs. Those always go everywhere, don't they? Okay. They turned out pretty great. I love how easy they were. And so fun to explore the new in colors. All right, I am going to move them back off to the side. And then we'll get going on our alternative card. So, we are going to make a fun fold tonight. We're going to make a half easel card. Oops, I forgot to put this one away. And that card is going to be utilizing the Starry Sky pieces. We're also going to bring in a piece of Starry Sky cardstock. And we're going to use this, and this, and this. Okay, so 8.5 by 5.5. Oh, Myrtle, don't worry. I got you. We're going to get this. So 8.5 by 5.5, and then we are going to score at 4 1/4. Then we're going to make a quarter turn, and we are going to cut at 2 3/4, but only from the score line down. So I'm going to lift up and pierce my blade through at 4 1/4 and cut down to the end at the 2 3/4 mark. And then I'm going to rotate it back and score at 2 1/8. Again, from the top to the cut line. So let's see if I can make that make sense. So we've got 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Okay, so just a normal half sheet of paper. We're gonna score it at 4 1/4. So again, just like a standard card. Then we turned it and we cut at the 2 3/4 mark from the score line to the edge of the paper. Then we turned it back and we scored here at 2 1/8, only from the start of the paper to the cut line. Okay? Now, we're going to use our bone folder and burnish these pieces down. And we're also going to burnish on this line. Okay, sorry, I need to pause for a drink. And a yawn. Okay. Next, we're going to use this piece. We're going to cut it into our pieces. So, this half. So first of all, we're going to cut it in half. Okay. Sorry, I've got scratchy notes over here. Okay. So we are going to, and I forgot one piece. Okay, we're gonna cut it at 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. So I think I'm gonna have a little bit to trim off. 2 1/2 and 2 1/2. Then this would be 4, but it's going to be whatever this raw edge is, which really is at 4. And then this piece is going to be 1 7/8 and 1 7/8. 1 7/8 and 1 7/8. And to keep it the same as the other side, I think I'm gonna cut. Oh man. Okay, I think I'm gonna cut half and half. I don't know. I don't know which side to take it off of. Half and half. Okay, then the piece that I forgot, I need to grab some basic white. And is this gonna fit there? Nope. Okay, we need 4 by 2 1/2. For the inside. Okay. And then we're going to take this. Probably should cut it before I go ahead and fold it. And we're gonna cut it down so that it is our easel holder. Okay. So those are our pieces. Now we're going to start assembling. Trying to think through here what the best way to do that is. Okay. I'm going to glue on the inside first. I don't know why, but I am. I'm feeling inclined. And then we're gonna glue this side closed. I agree. I think that's why I like it so much, is that it's such a rich color, Luann. Okay, then we're gonna glue this down. Okay. Then we're gonna put these two panels on. Okay, and then that's your favorite color. Oh, yep. I feel it. I feel the love. Then we're going to varnish this down and glue this piece down. That's gonna hold up our easel. And then on here, I'm going to glue down, dimensionalize, changing thoughts. Take a brick tool. Man, it's so hard to cover up all that gold. Ah! But it has to go there. It's so sad. You can all cry with me. Okay, and then we're going to put some embellishments on, and we're actually going to bring back some of that gold with the brushed metallic adhesive back dots, because I'm just so sad about the gold. Gotta bring some gold back. Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of ornamentally decorate here. All right, so thanks, Cindy. So I completely cased this card from a fellow demonstrator. Also, that's about the capacity I had with this head gold. But I love it. It's such a cute little half easel. So go ahead and put some money or a card in here. And then got that fun little easel to it. You absolutely could. So one thing that using paper pumpkin elements, so like you could only make 2 of this if you didn't make the original, because there's only 2 of each card, so like that is limiting, but you can use this template to make any card with like DSP. You would just have to recreate this easel, which is not hard. You just need to kind of measure it and make the score lines and stuff like that. But there you have your half easel card as your paper pumpkin alternative. And I'm going to case it, just as I was thinking here, to make a card out of an envelope. So let's do it. Let's do sweet sorbet. Something completely different than the one we just did. So I'm gonna start from the beginning. I need to grab a piece of sweet sorbet. Where do we have that? Here we go. Okay. So, let's do it again. Hopefully you guys don't mind. You just watched it. Where did I put my straight cutter? Here it is. Okay, so we've got 8.5 by 11. We're gonna cut it at 5.5. We're going to score it at 4.25. We're going to cut it at 2 3/4 from the score line down. We're gonna turn it at 2 1/8. We're going to score down to the cut line. So there, you got to see it again. And again, I don't have my basic white, so let's do that again. We're going to do 4 by 2.5. Now, the magic is in recreating this piece. Now, of course, it's got gold on it, and we won't be able to replicate that. But what we're going to do is deconstruct this envelope by cutting down the edges. Good gracious. Okay. To expose all of that beauty. Look at that. I can't waste that. Okay, so the piece that we need here is, it's basically a mat. And so we just need to cut either 3 pieces, or you could cut it into the size of a mat and then cut it down from there. But I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it at 4. So first I'll cut straight. And then we'll cut it at 4. And then we're going to cut it straight again. And then 2.5 will be this piece. And then 2.5. We gotta cut that one down. Oh, talked about it and didn't do it. Okay, so we need to cut this to 1 7/8. And then 1 7/8. Okay. So that's our puzzle that we've got. So again, for whatever reason, I'm going to start with the inside. I feel like if I close this first, it might be easier to center this white piece. I'm just winging it, guys. Bear with me. Okay. Then I'm gonna burnish this, glue this, glue this, glue this. Thanks, Myrtle. I'm glad you like it. So I love how that looks. And then I'm going to see, I don't know if this is going to work or not. I'm going to see if we can make the little pocket out of the envelope. So let's see if we can do this. All right, so I'm going to use my scratch paper and my ruler to measure this. We've got 2 1/4 by 1 5/8. And then we need to add some flaps. Which I would say 1/4 inch would do it. So we'll add 1/4 on each side, makes 2 3/4 by 1 5/6 7/8. All right, let's see here. So this part is already kind of folded. Yes, that's a great idea, Luann. So I actually am going to cheap out on you, and I don't think I'm going to decorate this one. Because I didn't have it in my mind, so I'm like kind of striking out a little bit. But absolutely. So there's a splotchy stamp in the set, and you could use that 100%. So 2 1/4. Let's see if we can do this. I think it's going to be too small. Should we try to do it? Oh, wait. 1 5/8. 1 5/8. All right. Back on track. We might be able to do this. Let's see if we score here. And if we score here, oh, that's more than enough, right? 2 1/4. Oh, we got just enough. You're welcome, Mary. Thanks for bearing with me as I try to figure it out. Okay, so now this would not need to be quite as difficult as I'm making it if you weren't trying to salvage this envelope piece, but it totally works, so why not, right? Okay, so then the last thing we have to do is trim down so that we can fold it. Because now you have, just like you did from there, there you go. So I think in a lot of cases you could have used the peak at the top of the pocket, but because this is an easel card, you need that to hold the easel up, and that peak wouldn't have worked in this case. But great idea for a different purpose, unless I'm misunderstanding what you're saying, which could happen. All right, so then we have our little pocket for there. Boom! We did it. 1 envelope to make a half easel card. I love it. Bear with me for 10 seconds. I'm gonna run and see if I can find any other of my envelope cards. And then I've got a drawing to give away a prize. So bear with me, I'll be right back. So Chris is cleaning house, but I did find 2 of them. This was from maybe a month or 2 ago from Paper Pumpkin. And these, I'm almost positive, I could be wrong, but I think these were part of the envelopes as well. So in this case, you just took a 3 by 4.5, I think it was. 3 by 4.5 inch chunk out of the envelope. So again, you cut this, in this instance, this just gets pitched. But you cut it from here, and then it became the focal, basically DSP for your card. So if you're interested, at the end of every Paper Pumpkin Live, I create an alternative using elements from the Paper Pumpkin, and I would say at least 50 to 75% of the time I use the envelope, because I love the designs that they put on their envelopes, and it really pains me to use a beautiful envelope because it just ends up in the garbage. So you can always check that out for lots of great ideas. So that is that. Let's see here. I need my phone so that I can do my drawing. So anyone that has purchased a Paper Pumpkin kit through Chris, let's see here. I need to find my random number generator. So I did roll call at the beginning, and we give away a prize to one of the participants that is doing Paper Pumpkin along with us. So this time we had 22 participants, and our winner is going to be number 7, which is Tracy Seller. I don't know if you are watching along with us, but congratulations if you are. You are our lucky winner, and I am so happy that we made it through tonight and I survived. I am feeling better, not as great as I wish I was feeling, but definitely better than I have been in the last couple of days. So we're getting there. So thanks for bearing with me as I sound all crazy, and thanks for all the love. I really appreciate it. I really enjoy doing this, and I love being inspired by other crafters. I love being inspired by you guys, other demonstrators. Just, I love it. It's so much fun crafting along with you. So I think that does it for me tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful Thursday night. The weekend is in sight. We've got one more day. So I hope you all have a great weekend, and you will catch Chris and I next week with some more stamping.